Hey guys, today I'm going to follow up on the Frank James subway shooting that I did a couple weeks ago, and how that was part of a rabbit year ritual, and how it connected to Revelation 8:11. I showed you guys the numbers, how it connected to Revelation 8:11 there. I kind of missed one thing to show you guys. Obviously, since it was a subway shooting, it was underground. Of course, the 8:11. I've showed you this in the very first video that I did with my connection to Wormwood and 8:11. Is 8:11 is the number you call before you dig. And of course, subways are dug underground. And then I also associated that video with this video, the twins. And the twins that I'm talking about is the two names that you're given. Your parents give you a name at birth, a proper name, and then after it's registered, the state gives you a all capital letter name, legal entity, legal fiction name. And I talked about how kind of this is the presumed decedent, this is the ghost that follows you around. Your two identities, your twin identity, the commercial you, and then the real you, and how they've been commingled. And this whole creation of this second entity, it's not totally on the up and up. It wasn't disclosed to you, wasn't disclosed to your parents how the system works. And we're left to navigate and try to figure out how to remedy this situation that most people don't even know they're in. And I associate with Wormwood from Revelation 8:11. Wormwood is an anti-parasite. Wormwood is the Artemisia absinthium that makes the water bitter, and that's an anti-parasite. And the twin that I'm always talking about here, the all capital letter legal fiction, is the parasite that's been attached to you. And I just want to go over a little bit more about that, and how after the fact of the shooting, some other things came out that really kind of pointed me that was the hidden meaning behind this this shooting, this ritual here. So if we take a look at this Rolling Stone article, this Frank James supposedly had a YouTube channel and a Facebook account with these two different names, Prophet of Doom 008 and Prophet of Truth 88. Now if you'll notice here, one is all small letters and one is all capital letters, and that's the two distinguishing features between the two different entities here. The real man's name and then the legal fiction name is put in all capital letters or block letters. And then, of course, a proper name is upper lowercase. So they're just, after the fact here, they're showing us that indeed it was about the twins. And then also, they were talking about in the news how it took them 30 hours to find Frank James after the shooting, and one of the reasons was they didn't have their surveillance cameras weren't working, so they didn't get an actual shot of who it was or his face, but they're claiming it was him. So it's like they're they don't have his face to put with his name. It's just part of this ritual here with the second person, with the twin. So real obvious here, the upper and the lowercase. It's all about the twin. Wormwood is the anti-parasite. The legal fiction parasite is stuck to you, and it's our job to figure it out and how to get rid of it. And also today, or yesterday, I'm going to show you guys a really interesting synchronicity I had. For me, yesterday was a very important day. I guess you could say I've been fighting my own fight against my own parasite, trying to take control of my own name back. and yesterday I had my court hearing. Actually, it's the third time I went to the court to get my name back, and I actually had an oral argument yesterday to present my case to the judges about the two different names, and I've been trying to do this for over a year, and people have been helping me, other people with their own name changes that have already been granted. I have firsthand knowledge of other people and their experience with this name change deal. So it's a real thing. Hundreds of people have done it that I know of. Like I said, I personally know people who do it, but the gist of the case is that you're changing from the all capital letter name to the name that was granted to you by your parents, and you're taking back control of your name. You're getting your name back. You're creating, you were registered when you were a minor, so you're coming back to the court and you're creating the proper name, your proper adult name, because they gave you this name on your birth certificate. So you're creating this name, and you're telling the court that you want to change back to the name that was granted you by your parents. And then there's actually a term that the judges use for that, but I'm having a lot of trouble getting my name back, and thankfully I've had a lot of people helping me. I know people, and they've had theirs for a long time, but and I'm gonna give you more details on that, even though in this case it's been a public matter. I want to present it to you guys maybe in a different context, because, well, it's just to give a little more detail and a little more personal detail about who I am and stuff. So maybe I'm going to start a different channel on a different platform, or do something different. But I'll show you the synchronicity I had yesterday with my name change hearing. So, I'd also like to note that it's interesting. Today is the 26th of April, so we're on the 36th anniversary of the Chernobyl nuclear accident. And of course, Chernobyl in Ukrainian means wormwood, and we're in the midst of the Ukrainian war. And then during the very beginning days of the Ukrainian war, of course, we were told Russia took over Chernobyl. So, and I've explained all that to you guys before. I showed you guys all the symbolism behind that, but let's take a look at what was going on yesterday. Very important day for me. On the 25th, I had my hearing, and it was a Zoom meeting. It was going to be a Zoom meeting with the judges, and of course, the night before, I was pretty nervous, and I was just thinking about all the scenarios. But when I woke up very early yesterday morning, I was thinking, what if the power went out and I couldn't, what if the power went out during my Zoom meeting, or what if the power was out when we were, trying to get ready for the Zoom meeting. And then, there is an alternate way if something like that does happen when you're on these Zoom meetings with the court. But I was just like up early, just thinking about what would happen if there was a power outage. And what's interesting is that about 7:15 in the morning, when we were getting our kids ready for school, the power went out in our house, and it was this whole neighborhood. And out of all Fargo, North Dakota that I live in, this is a screenshot from the outage from yesterday morning. It was literally just my neighborhood where the power went out, and I live right here is where I live. But this is the only area of Fargo where the power went out yesterday. The power went out for about an hour, so it didn't affect my Zoom meeting, but it was just very strange that I was laying awake in the morning thinking about all the different scenarios that could interrupt my time with the judges there. And I had texted Bobby this at 7:43, about a half hour after the power went out, I said, our power just went out. And then he goes, what? And then it was also interesting that that morning, part of the synchronicity of this as well was that the top headline was that Russia was bombing train stations. And here's a couple of these from yesterday morning. These are from yesterday morning. Russia was bombing a train station. And the other part of this synchronicity is that I work for a railroad. I'm a train engineer. So it's a very, very, crazy synchronicity that I'm thinking about the power going out. The power does go out. And the headline at the time the power goes out is that Russia's bombing train stations. And in this text that I sent to Bobby, it said, Cody said the grid would go down, and Cody that I'm referring to here is another has another channel here, Decoding with Cody. He did his last two videos that he did were about how the power could possibly, there could be a power outage or a, electrical grid going down on April 25th. And it actually, some pretty crazy synchronicities that he shows in these two vids. If you want to go look at them, I'll leave a link. But he talks about the Super Bowl commercial where Zeus takes out the electricity, and Zeus is 71, and my channel, my name of my channel is 71. It's a lot of people call it 7711, but it's just supposed to be 71. But Zeus is 71. Just some incredible synchronicities with his prediction of the power grid going down on the day that I'm trying to get my name back. And there's a whole other story about this, why it's been a year and a half since I've been trying to get, almost a year and a half since I've been trying to get my name back. And I guess, like I said, I'll cover more of that on a different platform, and as soon as I can. It's just having a lot of trouble, and I'm having so much trouble that I'm at this point I'm just wondering, you go and do something that other people have done, you have the evidence, you know what you're doing, they know what you're doing, and you're relying on another party to act honorably and to do what you requested, and I've been getting a kind of the runaround, which, it's not right. A lot of things that led up to what's going on today, all in the world right now, it was, not everything's been on the up and up here, and trying to correct it, when you go someone to make a correction and claim your property, and there's a certain way to do that, shouldn't be like this. But just a crazy synchronicity with yesterday, with my power going out, and I live in eastern North Dakota in Fargo. This is the only neighborhood where the power went out, and it didn't affect, like I said, you can read this text here, and it didn't affect my meeting or anything, but just incredible synchronicities with the news. I was literally laying awake, an hour before this happened, running all through the scenarios of what could happen to interrupt my meeting. But anyways, a lot of things, and I'm fighting the fight not only for myself, but to help other people as well. Other people need to know this, even if you just know this part of it. Just knowing this part of it is a start. But getting something done yourself, and then showing how to do it with other people and helping them. And then linking it in with all the rituals. I've been doing this stuff on Wormwood for 6 years now, showing you all the symbolism. I've gotten ahead of a lot of things using this, and to show you guys. But yeah, crazy synchronicity with the power yesterday. So check out Cody's last 2 videos, and when I can, when I feel like it's closer to the time, I will make a way for you guys to find me. I mean, it might end up being Patreon, even though I don't really believe in charging people. I mean, it would be the minimum amount, but just to get on a platform that was more private, that would, people, you have to want to be there. So, and it's not, you have to sign up and make the extra effort, but it's hard for me to come up with a private platform because I'm so busy with work and family and stuff. But I may end up going a Patreon route, just with the minimum amount of headache for anyone else. So, but I'm trying to fight the good fight for myself and others, and it's just crazy. And this isn't the only synchronicity. In the last few months, I've experienced so many synchronicities with this situation that I'm in. And if you subscribe to Dan Barron's channel, he does gematria, and he follows the symbolism of the news as well. He experiences, he bases almost his whole channel off synchronicities that he has, and that kind of guides him. And really, I really believe that synchronicity does guide you, and it helps you, find solutions to things. It guides you in the right direction, because the universe is paying attention to you, so you should pay attention to the universe. So, crazy world we live in, and there's been a concerted effort to make sure that we overlook things like this. And I think it's the most important thing to look at, is how your everyday life, there's things happen to you to get your attention, to get you on the right path. That's how I like to see it. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. There's the 811, call before you dig, the subway. I mean, it's all there. I know I'm kind of rambling now, but a lot of things going on. Had a very stressful day yesterday, and a stressful year. It's trying to get your own property back, and whatever. I'll talk to you guys later. One thing I forgot to add for you guys, when I was looking up Frank James, and this other guy came up here, Alexander Franklin James. They have his name on Wikipedia as Frank James, related to the subway shooter Frank R. James. But when I was looking up this information, it showed that this Frank James was a Confederate soldier and guerrilla in the post-Civil War period. He was an outlaw and the older brother of Jesse James. So, they kind of associating this post-Civil War period, this outlaw period, or this outlaw theme here with, Frank James, the shooter. He was the older brother of Jesse James, and, a Confederate soldier and guerrilla. So he participated in the Civil War, and right now we're going through a lot of interesting things with Elon Musk buying Twitter. And this is interesting. I just looked this up when I decided that I remembered that I forgot to show you guys this, but Elon Musk's Twitter plans are a huge can of worms. Remember, a long time ago, I told you that the language of symbolism is also called the language of the birds, right? The birds are the gods. Symbolism is the highest form of communication, right? Deciphering symbolism, that's the highest form of communications. That's the language of the birds, or the language of the gods. But there's there's the big debate now that Twitter, they're gonna let free speech happen, or Elon wants free speech on Twitter, so he bought Twitter, and right now in America, there's two sides. There's, it's like almost like the Civil War is happening again, where some people are fighting for their rights, and some people want to go along to get along the other way. They want to be administered to. They want to be governed. They want to, they believe everything the government says. But there's, we have choices in America, in the United States of America. We have these choices, we have these rights. But so we're kind of in our own civil war right now, with this, over this, over the weirdest things. Twitter. Whoever would have thought Twitter, and free speech. I mean, that this is like a huge thing. So, but I just think this is very interesting though. Huge can of worms, being that my whole thing is about Wormwood. So another interesting synchronicity. But yep. So, yep, that's it. Thanks, guys. Again, thanks for watching.